So tell me, on top of being an exciting thriller, it's also a movie that raises questions about the U.S. government drug policies.
Yeah.
Was it an attraction for you? What did you learn from it?
Absolutely. When I first read the script, it was attractive just because of the scenario. As a father, I immediately thought, what would I do in this situation? It's very compelling for those reasons, and it brings up a lot of emotions, but a lot of big questions. And so you dig deeper, and you start to do your research on why are these mandatory minimum drug sentencing laws enacted, and for what reason, and what cause and effect have they had. And I think that's why I was so interested in doing the project, because it's really not your typical action film. It's not your, it's not Dwayne Johnson's wheelhouse. I mean, it's a very emotional piece. It's driven by the love of this father for his son to try and save his life, essentially, from 10 years in prison. And it certainly has the action element, and I think his audience will love that. But it raises a lot of very important questions about our judicial system and our prison system, and I think people are going to love it.
Because of the seriousness of the movie, does that bring a sense of responsibility? Do you feel responsible when you're dealing with such a tough subject?
Yeah, and to each their own in each character's area of the film. My particular area is I play a DEA agent, drug enforcement agent by the name of Billy Cooper, and he's an Iraq war veteran. He's worked undercover with the Hells Angels, and now he is a team leader with the DEA. And his job is to work with these undercover informants and try to shepherd them through these really dangerous waters. And he's kind of a jaded, nomadic character that has been very desensitized by what he's seen in life. And so when I arrived on set a few weeks early to work with the specialists, they had brought in Delta Force Rangers and SEALs and DEA agents for me to work with, and it opened my eyes to the level to which these guys work. But then you don't want to let them down. You want to make it as authentic and as respectful as possible. So you do go that extra step to try to tell each of their stories in a way.
It's been a decade since you've been in a Spike Lee movie, The 25th Hour.
Yeah.
Do you see similarities between these two roles? Are there some parallels, some things that you have in common?
Yeah, in the sense that Edward Norton's character in 25th Hour was this character who was completely out of his depth. He got involved in the narcotics trade, but he was just this pretty white boy that had no idea what he had gotten himself into, and here he is being sent away for 10 or 20 years of hard time in a federal state penitentiary, and he was, the character was very concerned about what lay ahead for him. And so it does make you think about how easy it is to spin your life out of control, and how deadly serious these laws are. And there's unfortunately no leeway in this situation. You get caught with a certain amount of drugs, however you feel about the war on drugs or those particular drugs, there is no ifs, ands, and buts about it. You're going away for 10 years to life. And unfortunately, these mandatory minimum sentencing laws takes the judicial discretion out of the hands of the judges and puts it into the hands of the prosecutors. And there is nothing that you can do about it other than to go down the road of copping a plea on someone else. That's the only way out of it. And so it has really destroyed a lot of families,
You're in two movies written by Justin Heff.
Yeah,
Snitch and
that's right.
Lone Ranger. Do you see similarities between these two movies in terms of the themes?
Justin wrote the original draft of Snitch, and then Rick rewrote it and sort of modernized it, contemporized it. So I didn't see the same voice there, but getting to know Justin on The Lone Ranger, I realized what intrigued him about this story. When he first saw that Frontline episode of the true story that this is based on, I know how his mind works because my mind works the same way. And that's what immediately compelled me to want to be a part of this story was, wow, this really happened? This is a true story, and I'd like to investigate this further. So working with him on Lone Ranger, yeah, I mean, he's also got a tremendous sense of humor. And so I think that served him really well on Lone Ranger. Working with Johnny and Gore and Jerry, the film is a really fun adventure, and Justin is a very talented writer.
You had a huge beard in that movie,
Yeah.
Snitch. Did you keep it for a long time?
No, I
It's
went-
a little bit of a reminiscence.
Well, I went and did Broken City, and then I did Lone Ranger. So this is actually from Lone Ranger. So yeah, no, it's been a long road since then.
What did you learn from working with Dwayne Johnson, and how was it working?
Well, I realized that you can be a Mount Rushmore-sized man and have this incredible personality and persona as The Rock and as an action star, but it doesn't mean that you don't have to be a gentle, caring, intelligent human being. He was a fabulous guy to work with because he kept everybody so happy and excited about the project because, his personality is that way. He's just a very energetic, enthusiastic, sunny kind of guy to be around. So, yeah, I wasn't expecting that. I was expecting, him to be very serious and very macho. And I wasn't sure how he was going to integrate into this character of this very humble, normal, average American dad, but he committed fully and did a great job.
What was unique about the style of the director, do you think, and what did he bring truly to Snitch?
Well, Rick's background is stunts, and so, of course, the action is his wheelhouse, but he, for his first film, Felon, became a parole officer and started working in the prisons to get an understanding of that world. And so it really helped me on this project because he had an empathy and an understanding of that world and knew what those guys had gone through and how they coped, with being in prison or being, being involved in that life. And so it was really informative for me. He was a tremendous resource. So I think that it could have been so easy for him to turn this into a straightforward action picture, but because Rick has that perspective and empathy, he was able to bring a lot of heart and sort of raise the stakes emotionally on this one.